was like thinking in the park, one day I'm gonna move here. Told me at the beginning before I came, worry, I'm gonna have all this time off. That also helped me to make the final call. Like a week or two before I was gonna go. Oops, sorry. I have so many classes. Girl, you're on your own.
Do you have any culture shock? Hola chicos, 我是 Adele。今天在我旁边是一个非常特别的来宾 Agatha。
Hello, 大家好。 My name is Agatha. I've been living in Taiwan for over 3 years and welcome to my plant studio. Yay, jungle studio.
So rare to find like such a beautiful apartment in Taipei. I felt so hard.
It took me almost 3 years. I lived all over Taipei, starting from a studio in Guangdu, through Da'an Park. I mean, not in the park. Nangan area and Shijiao, so all over. And now I can finally feel like this place, it's really home.
Which area would you say is your favorite?
I would say I really love Beito. I love Yanmin-san. I love feeling the sulfur, the hot springs. Muja area. 2 places are very close to the mountains, and even though you're in the city, you can still feel very much
in nature.
Yes, and that's the beauty of Taipei.
So I'm really curious, and I'm sure a lot of audience would love to know about your experience in Taiwan. How did you know about Taiwan for the first time?
All credit goes to my long childhood my childhood friend Carolina. Shout out to Carolina. One day she moved out to another city to study Chinese. Many years later she went to Taiwan on a trip. That was just like a 1-month trip, and then she fell in love with the island, and she was so motivated to come here for a scholarship program. Spend 1 year in Kaohsiung. She loved it so much she invited me to come over and see the magic and beauty of Taiwan.
How did she describe about Taiwan?
Just like, Agatha, you have to come. This is so amazing.
No one
beautiful.
About, but so
I didn't. Okay. I gotta admit, I didn't really know Taiwan existed before Carolina told me about Taiwan. So, and I was like, what, 18 maybe? And then when she went for the first time,
right?
And she was so showing me the photos of the monkeys, and she was saying so much about nature. She's a polyglot. She's very intelligent, very smart. She does her research, and I was like, okay, wow, if Carolina, it took her breath away. Something must be happening there. And then I was like, you know what? Yes, let's do it. I'm coming to see you. And then after 30 days, I was in the Taipei area, and I was going to get my flight.
我怎么瞬间来到巴厘岛？不可能吧？刚刚不是还在台湾访谈吗？刚刚在巴厘岛，现在什么 IP 位置显示在泰国？不对，我的身体还在台湾啊！等一下，你的主体难道没有跟你说他正在使用 Surfshark VPN 吗 ？Surfshark 是 VPN 界的大明星，让你在上网的时候随时切换 IP 位置，解除地理限制，让你去你想去的国家，解锁你本来看不到的内容跟服务。很多本来在你的地区没办法看到的电影、影片，现在都可以看，而且是用一个账号，用无限个装置观看。赶快偷偷把你的家人、朋友都加入账号啊！对了，我最常用的功能还有改变我的 IP 位置，找到最便宜的机票下定。出国要照顾自己的人身安全，网络上的安全就交给 Surfshark VPN， 隐藏你的 IP 位置，防止任何人追踪你在网络上的行踪。每个月只需不到1杯咖啡的价格，就可以拥有这么多的优点。现在点击资讯栏内的链接，并输入我的专属优惠码 holaadele， 即可享有专属优惠，并加送4个月免费，30天退款保证，让你完全不用担心不合适。好啦，该回去台湾了。
Later in the day, and I was like thinking in the park, like, one day I'm gonna move here.
Really? At that time, like 30 days already make you feel like
it was actually 27 days.
And when was that? Like the first time you came to Taiwan?
I remember it was the year of the dog, and I'm dog. Usually people say that it's not your year. It's a bad luck. It's the best year of my life. Yo, it's like, it's a misconception. It was the best year of my life.
So after that trip, what really brought you to Taiwan to live? Like what made you decide?
So I usually say that Taiwan has this phenomenal energy, and it's just the energy of the place remarkable. I remember I was writing my master thesis on urban planning, but also philosophy of the city, and there's this term, it's called genius loci. I think I'm pronouncing it correct. This term describes the spirit of the place. When you go somewhere for the first time, or you really vibe with the city, it's like, yeah, that's like, I love the energy energy. I love the people, I love the food, I love the smell. So I really connected with that genius loci of Taiwan. I remember on the train from the airport, I was looking through the windows and I saw like this lush, rampant nature, and like I saw almost figures from the bushes, from the trees, and it was just so mystical, unlike I've seen before. I was so amazed, and I haven't felt this level of amazement in such a long time. So to be walking every day and to be amazed by the Chinese characters, by the nature, and then like having this beautiful energy around me, and people are so welcoming. I was just like, wow, this feels like my place.
Wow.
And funny enough, my friend Carolina told me at the beginning before I came to assure me that don't worry, I'm gonna have all this time off, and I'm gonna travel with you throughout the whole island. So that also helped me to make the final call, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have her back. She speaks fluent Chinese. I don't have to worry about anything. So I think a week or two before I was gonna go, they're like, oh, oops, sorry. I have so many classes and I need to work hard. It's like, sorry, I gotta go with you like 3 days, and like you have to come down to Kaohsiung. Like, I'll help you book the train tickets, but like, girl, you're on your own.
Figure out everything by yourself.
Well, yeah.
No way back. There's no return.
Way back. And it was honestly one of the best things that happened to me, because I could really discover Taiwan with my own eyes. And it was my first time in Asia too. So in a way it was great to just like be open. It felt a little bit like diving in a deep water, but okay, the first few hours in Taipei, I'm walking to my hostel, and then I wanted to call the elevator. It was closing, and then someone's hand sticks out of the elevator. I walk in, and it turned out it was a super, super nice guy. He was half Taiwanese, half American. He grew up all over the place, all over the world. In the end, we just ended up hanging out a lot, and he ended up my tour guide. He was very, very kind, very helpful, very thoughtful in this beautiful, sweet Taiwanese way.
You arrive in Taiwan, you already met a lot of good people.
Yes.
And definitely give you a lot of good feelings about this place.
Being at the customs and just people being very, very kind and very open and very welcoming. And this is something that I appreciate so much up to this day. Sometimes I walk down the street and there's an older guy looking at me like, it's cute grandpa. Yeah, it's cute grandpa, and he's just like looking at me, and then I nod at him and smile. He just smiles back. He waves at me, and I'm like, yeah, my homie. So just like to be able, and something I would never do in Poland. Like in Poland, like poker face, and like if you smile at a stranger in Poland, then they would think like 3 things. A, you're crazy. B, you're like an old friend that somehow like I forgot about you. And then, oh, who's that? Like, where did I see that face before? Or third, you're trying to flirt with me. So these are like the 3 options.
Wow.
Smiling like, what? That's suspicious.
What do they want from me?
Yeah, so do they want from me like, no, let me just back up.
Really? I didn't know. So something to be aware, like when you go to Poland, don't smile at people.
So yeah, that's a cultural insight. We are very, very open and welcoming once you have connected with us. So that's like the thing, and it might be related to the tumultuous past of my home country, or it might be just, you know, we are a little bit a colder country in terms of the climate.
Culture shock in Taiwan. Why are you smiling at me?
Yeah, or just like people would look at you, but that's it. Like they would just like scan you know sometimes, like what she's wearing, and I noticed I did it too sometimes. Last time I was back, like people just like scan you from head to toe, like in some cultures there is more friendliness at the beginning, like the first glance, and there's a lot of friendliness, but to like go deeper and
it's
actually
harder.
And something to add would be that I feel like it's very easy to make things happen in Taiwan. Like no matter what it is, you want to learn Muay Thai or fire spinning, the next day you meet someone who happens to be a fire spinner, and you're like, hey, let me take you to a fire spin, and 2 years later
you are attracting a lot of things.
So there is a lot of this, that there's just like this law of attraction boost. Whatever it is for you to happen, happens.
Like Taiwan is like your magnet, kind of, right?
Yes.
Like you have to be in the right place to attract the right things. So we talk about a lot of good things about Taiwan. Do you have any culture shock?
Well, I would call it a cockroach shock. I don't mind them on the street, but once they're like in your bathroom, that was something that I needed to overcome. In Poland, we very rarely see cockroaches. Once you see a cockroach, it usually means that a place is very, very dirty. Here it's like ants, like spiders. So just overcoming that and like just learning to live with them and like, welcome them. I mean, not welcome them to my house, but like welcome them, shared planet Earth. So mosquitoes really like me, especially in Beito, Yanmin-san areas, just like a walking buffet.
Apart from the cockroach, do you have any culture shock?
Something related to communication.
Okay.
There is a lot of, I think linguistically speaking, there is a lot of